Owning stocks that pay dividends can not only be a great way to receive passive income on a consistent basis, but also eventually lead you to early retirement. Investing into dividend stocks can also reduce a lot of anxiety since they typically aren't as volatile, and you simply have to just hold on to them while they make regular payments. So with that being said, today I wanted to go over some of the most solid dividend-paying stocks to buy, with all of them having a dividend yield of at least 5%. Blue Owl Capital Corp, or ticker symbol OBDC, is the first one on the list, and it's currently paying about a 9.8% dividend yield. This is one that I own in my portfolio, so every quarter I receive a nice little dividend payment from my small position. So Blue Owl Capital is a specialty finance company that focuses on lending to small and mid-market companies in the US. The company has investments in over 190 different businesses with about 150 billion in total assets under management. And companies like this are known as what's called a business development company, or a BDC. BDCs are companies that invest shareholder capital in smaller, privately owned US companies. And they generate income from both loans and capital gains from equity positions, very similar to venture capital or private equity funds. And since they're publicly traded, anyone can invest in them. OBDC has been paying out a dividend every quarter since early 2020, and it typically pays an additional special dividend on top of its scheduled quarterly dividend. As you can see here, about a month before every regular dividend payment, it pays out a special dividend ranging anywhere from 4 to 6 cents per share. And 4 to 6 cents per share isn't anything too exciting, but it's kind of like when you were a kid and got to open one present on Christmas Eve to kind of prep you for the next day. That's kind of the best analogy I can think of. OBDC has a current price or net asset value of about $13.50 per share, and its regular dividend payments are around 33 cents per share, making its dividend yield just under 10%. Number 2 is Oaktree Specialty Lending, or OCSL. This is another BDC currently paying over an 11% dividend yield with a market cap of about $1.5 billion. So whenever a stock has a double-digit dividend yield, obviously that's going to be really attractive to dividend investors, but it's important to know that this high of a yield may not always last. The annual dividend for this stock has been increasing for the past 5 years, which is good news. But if we go back about 10 years, the dividend actually decreased for a time and stayed flat for a few years in a row. And if we look at the yields chart, we can see that back in 2021, the yield was down to about 6.5%. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when investing in higher dividend yield stocks. But despite that, the company has been performing increasingly well and might continue to do so going forward, keeping that high dividend yield for the next few years to come. Looking back, the total 5-year return for OCSL is about 104%, giving it an average annual return of about 21% over the past 5 years. And with that 11% dividend yield, each quarterly payment is around 55 cents per share, with its current share price being just under $20. I also own a few shares of this company as well, so back in June, I got a dividend payment of $3.30. So Oaktree Specialty Lending, or OCSL, is definitely one to consider buying for that high dividend income. PNC Financial is a pretty undervalued dividend-paying stock with a current dividend yield of 5%. This is a banking stock that did get hit pretty hard during that little banking crisis we had back in 2023, but it's definitely on its path to recovery. Although the stock has tumbled about 23% year to date, the dividend has stayed nice and safe this year, with each payment being around $1.50 per share. It's been paying a consistent dividend every single quarter since 1989, and even during one of the worst financial crashes of our time around 2008, it still paid out a dividend all throughout that recession. PNC has a market cap of about 50 billion and a pretty low PE ratio of 9.19, and its current share price is right around $123. So if you want a solid dividend-paying stock in your portfolio with a decent 5% yield, then PNC Financial might be one to consider. The last one is one of my favorites. It's VICI Properties, or just VICI. So VICI is a real estate investment trust, or a REIT, and it's essentially the landlord for huge casinos in Las Vegas like Caesars Palace and MGM Resorts. The company owns nearly 700 acres across the Vegas Strip and over 40,000 hotel rooms. And the company is expected to continue acquiring more land and more properties in the near future. It's currently paying a 5% dividend yield and has continued to increase its dividend every single year since 2018. And since its IPO back in 2018, the stock has had a total return of over 100%, making its average annual return at 20%. Average dividend payouts this year have been just under 40 cents per share each quarter and are expected to grow going forward. Hope you guys find these videos helpful. As always, feel free to check out the other videos on my channel, and I'll see you next time.